Friday also. But Kirol was a card that tested really well in blue-white Quantum Energy. We had talked about wanting to test it in the green-white Birthing Ritual shell, and if you missed our recent, we recently tested green-white Birthing Ritual, and it also went well. But we found that there's like a weird infinite combo in this deck, where if you Springheart Nantuko Kirol, and you have Kitty's Blessing with Ocelot Pride, what you can do is when this trigger happens, you're copying the tokens. If you have made a token copy of Kirol and kept that one, you can copy the Ocelot Pride trigger, then get a new copy of Kirol, and then you can tap the new copy of Kirol plus the new cats that you just made with the Ocelot Pride trigger, and then you can get another trigger, and then you can get another trigger, and you can get another trigger, and so you can make infinite cats in your instep if you have this really specific kind of mana intensive 3-card combo. Certainly not like a big part of the deck, but I think what's kind of fun about it is I would individually play any of those cards. I would individually play any of those cards in the deck. My opponent is 0-4 in this league. I don't know. I don't know if I've seen this. 0-0 against 0-4. Although I guess I don't pay that much attention usually. So 0-4 with Marshflat's Thoughtseize. Yeah, my opponent's currently dead for prizes. Not that that matters very much. I guess I should play the Mite so that Birthing Ritual is a good top deck. If my opponent's playing Necro, I don't know that holding the Mite is super good since it's always gonna be an onboard trick to kill it. They also know I have Boseiju, but maybe I'm just opening myself up to Bowmasters. The 0-4 deck. So interesting they didn't take the Haywire Mite. Oh wait, no. So did I just draw the Haywire Mite? I guess I did. All right, so we have a main deck Static Prison. We have one extra Haywire Mite in the sideboard. We have Needle. We have a Portable Hole. We're honestly, I guess we have a second Haywire Mite. Right? Did I say that? I said that right. Got the Boseiju. So they're probably. Let's see if they mill my Kirol. If they mill my Kirol, oh sorry, I meant to respawn. Although there's also something to be said for like never using the Haywire Mite until they play Bridge. All right, I think with when them, I have Boseiju in my hand and they've got double Shredder out, so I'll just go and target the Lantern. They'll probably mill themselves here. They mill me so that they can choose to shuffle. Instead, they let the Lantern of Insight get exiled. So they did not want to shuffle their own swamp, or maybe they think they could just upkeep mill their own swamp. I guess it's not really much different. So I'm not drawing Guide of Souls. I do draw Springheart Nantuko. And I guess I'll fetch on their upkeep. Well, no, I guess I'll fetch on their draw step because we know they're drawing swamp, so that doesn't really change anything. And I think I want them to draw swamp. Maybe I'm unlocking a 4-drop from their hand like a Karn or something. So they mill an Ocelot Pride. This is our second time playing against Lantern kind of recently. I can't remember really when the other one was. I remember it being a very nice, refreshing match. So I've already used my Haywire Mite. I'm going to go ahead and Gearhulk for an Ocelot Pride and a Static Prison. Probably not going to be using this Boseiju very aggressively. Their Urza Saga can make 3/3, then 5/5s. Plays an Inventor's Fair. Having 2 answers for Bridge, obviously we're feeling pretty dang comfortable. Just play another one of these and then go Guide, Pride next turn. Certainly down to trade an insect token for 3 damage. That was a freebie. Although my opponent's probably not as engaged with the game as someone could be. Sorry, Lancer Control. All right, Needle, Haywire Mite, Portable Hole. Thraben Charm kills Urza Saga. It's a little narrow. Are they going to have sweepers? Maybe I want a Boromir or two. I think I'm going to cut all my Solitudes. They seem like they have an infinity basics, but I guess if this is just going to be here to answer Urza Saga, we'll just play Phantoms instead. Anything else I'm missing? Maybe I could play one more Boromir over one more Phantom. Yeah, we played a challenge today. Had a couple of rough beats with the Meteor Sword deck. I think I'm down to play a little bit more Meteor Swords in leagues later this week. Like, try to find a spot where we're like 3 hours into a stream. We can just fire up another Meteor Sword league. See how we're feeling about it, but still like the deck. Well, keeping this. They're leading on an Urza Saga. Playing a Codex Shredder. So if my opponent goes Thoughtsees me and they see that I have Arid Mesa, they might be able to play Needle on the Arid Mesa, but I don't think I'm supposed to be that scared of this. What was the most promising Meek Attack list? Overall, Meek Attack didn't test very well, is kind of the short answer. I think the most promising was probably the Woodland one. I'm just going to mill this anyways. I think it's okay to try to not get got by Pithing Needle. Although we are going to shuffle their library here by phantoming the Saga. Haywire, Nantuko on Haywire Mite is possibly something we could try to set up for, although it's going to be pretty... We need 5 mana to make a Haywire Mite copy in the same turn. The Kiki Meek Attack wasn't good. That one was playing Kiki. That's what I was talking about. Oh, they drew an orb. Interesting. It was fine. It was the best of all of them. It was the one we were winning some matches with, right? But it wasn't it also wasn't like a performer, you know what I mean? So they've got orb, and then kind of in a weird spot. Okay, Ephemerate makes things a lot nicer. So now I go Haywire Mite the orb. Attack with the Phantom and Ephemerate the Phantom so they can't make a construct or get another Codex Shredder. Although we are now answerless to bridge, and they have Lantern Shredder, so it's going to be kind of tough to get out from underneath a bridge if they have one. Did you ever try the Boris version of Meek Ikiki? There were some issues I had with the construction of that build, and I tried to so they drew a Mire, they have another Mire on top, and I tried to like rework it, of course, to not have those issues, and I couldn't really find a balance where the deck looked like it would be good if you didn't draw Meek Attack, and Meek Attack was still good when you did draw it, which might sound kind of obvious, but that was really the important thing to do with that build was, again, make sure that the deck was good when you didn't draw Meek Attack and also good when you did. And I couldn't figure out a version that felt like I met that qualification. I think I got kind of close, and maybe we would be able to get somewhere with it in the future, but I was not quite able to get there. Does Kirol literally make infinite cats or a lot of cats? It makes infinite cats if you Nantuko onto Kirol. So you can make a token copy of Kirol and tap that token to start copying. So I know it's not really a huge part of this deck's game plan, but I do think it's such a cool and unique thing that it feels worthy of a deck name and stream title to me. I don't know that we're ever gonna get to do it, but because it's pretty intensive, but it'll all be worth it if it does happen. How do you work around once a turn? Because you're making you make a token copy with Springheart Nantuko. That token copy can be active, and you get to keep copying the Pride trigger to keep copying that token, and you just activate that one token once a turn. I guess we'll keep this. Despite me wanting to make a token copy of Ocelot Pride here, interaction against their plan is probably more relevant. Looks like they're thinking about lanterning me. They say GG's. GG's to you too. I think I'm playing Boromir instead of Kirol. Does Nantuko make non-legendary tokens of Kirol? No, but you don't need them to be non-legendary. For the combo at least. Because you just keep the new copy, and then you keep copying the trigger over and over again because you keep making cats. All right. What a note. But the new one is a Nantuko. It doesn't need to be a Nantuko. It just needs to be a token copy. It just needs to be a token so it keeps getting copied with the Pride. All right, mulligan to one lander on the draw. We also mulliganed a lot the challenge too, for whatever that's worth. I'm gonna put back second Solitude here on the draw. How's Infinite Loop work? Again, it's not the plan A, but the loop. Maybe someone could make a command. I know it's kind of convoluted, but you Nantuko a Kirol, and then you start copying the Ocelot Pride trigger with Kirol in your instep. The new token copy of Kirol gets copied, and you can keep copying the trigger over and over and over again. And this will give you infinite cats. So it's just pretty cool, but again, not like our plan A or anything, but Kirol is just kind of a good new card that's been testing well. And now I've said this a bunch of the last 5 minutes, so that'll probably be the last time I make this spiel for 5 more minutes. No second creature yet. Kind of telegraphed that I have the Ephemerate, but if they sack the Ranger Captain, it's okay, I think. Okay. Holding priority here. So my plan is going to be to copy the Solitude with the Nantuko this turn, then play Witch Enchanter tapped, and then if they kill the Solitude, it's not great, obviously. But if they do also have Nantuko in play, and I can just cast Gearhulk. Oh my gosh! Fuck! Well, oops. This was definitely a talking and walking mistake. Maybe they'll have Flage Pride anyways this turn, and I'll feel less bad. All right, their hand is Pride, 2 mystery cards. They killed my Nantuko. Okay, so thankfully this would have worked out more or less the same. I would have gotten for 1 more damage and gained 1 life. So they have an Ocelot Pride. I've got a Boseiju, so I think I can get Guide Pride kind of comfortably. The opponent's down to 12. I do usually think this matchup is quite good for whatever that's worth. Very good last couple cards for them to have. See if they find another 1-drop to play off the Mesa. Seems like they probably do if they're thinking this long, I would guess. When do I haven't seen Sunbed Canyon? Don't think I've seen that Boros. It's been a little bit more popular now to play like more like of this card. I can never remember the name of it. They'll Volkit Encampment and then Sunbed Canyon, as opposed to just like all fetches and Arena of Glories. It certainly seems really fine either way to me. So it looks like I'm going to have Kitty's Blessing if I don't attack with the Solitude or the Insect token. Wait, they have Discharge? Oh my gosh. I think I'm still leaving Solitude back to block Pride. Yeah, I don't exactly want to make this trade either. So they still have a Sunbed Canyon. They have 2 cards in hand and 1 more Surveil land in the deck. Maybe they'll start with a Surveil land looking for a red-white Titan. Definitely don't hate that in our spot where we're at. Lands are good top deck. Spells are good top deck. Maybe I should have attacked with Solitude so the Pride triggered. They say no to a Blood Moon. Blood Moon would have been kind of okay for them here. Then they sack the Canyon. Very interesting game. And they concede. All right, well, we'll take it. Definitely nice to win that game after making that that misclick. I'm going to try to prioritize getting basics also in case they leave Blood Moon in, since we saw that they're main decking it. I'm going to bring in the Portable Hole, bring in Thraben Charm, bring in Pithing Needle. Usually once I have these, I don't feel like I need the Haywire Mite. Static Prison is like kind of weird too. Sometimes you do want to get it off the Gearhulk, but it is kind of bad a lot of the time. Although I guess we want to say no to the Phantoms. I do want to say yes to Ghost Vacuum, which might just edge out the Static Prison. Maybe one less Nantuko to keep playing the Prison. Yeah, I think Prison's just a little clunky. Maybe I want Boromir's to play around Wrath the Skies. Let's do this, actually. Our Birthing Ritual curve is a little bit awkward, but it doesn't really matter, I think, very much. Maybe I want to play 2 Kirol, 3 Nantuko, though. You can see that. I think Kirol in the draw, especially against Flage, is kind of tough. Did anybody type up the command? Because I know we're getting a lot of questions about the combo. I gotta keep this. Also, yeah, I didn't end up playing the showcase. Lost my win in for top 8. Did lots of New Flash. What were you playing? Okay, no discharge is pretty big. Do I want to trade Ocelot Prides? I think yes, because they can jump with the Guide of Souls next turn. I'll offer the trade. Not a very big deal, right? It's just like 1 life swing, but I think this trade would be favorable for me, so I'll go ahead and offer it. Flage? Maybe I should have Needle Bombardment instead of playing second cat. Wasn't expecting to sack the Ragavan. I guess Ragavan's kind of worthless anyways. Hopefully draw 1 or 2 drop here. Draw Kirol. I think Kirol copying Gearhulk. Maybe I'm getting a little too greedy, but like I can copy the Guide attack this turn. I can copy Gearhulk next turn. Make this a 5/6. Oh, sorry. If I copy the guided tech, I have to have the energy to pay them. Oh, no, no, I don't. Right. Wait, hold on. When you do, you put 2 counters. Hold on. I'm blanking. I think I do get the counters. It's a second trigger after you do. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so now I can copy this. It's like I knew I could do it, then I looked at it again. I'm like, wait, I can't do this, but I can do this. And if they want to sack 2 things, that's okay. So they're gonna sack the cat, and then are they gonna? I guess they'll sack the Guide of Souls also. Yep. So they got 3 cards in their hand after they draw. Might need to not play the Gearhulk this turn. I want to copy this Gearhulk trigger so badly. I think it's fine. If this isn't fine, I don't want to be right. If they have a discharge for the crawl, it's not the end of the world either. But it is a bummer. In before Mana Tithe. Maybe I just get 2 guides and 2 prides, so I just go needle. I just go needle guide pride. I probably want to get static prison for their pride, or sorry, portable hole. Boarded out the static prison. Yeah, they did it to Johnny me last turn, thankfully. I'm gonna get the portable hole. And then guide pride. Now I'm gonna try to survive this turn. Which might happen. I think it's maybe a coin flip. It's amazing this kind of stuff works in modern, but you couldn't get away with Kirol into Gearhulk and Stand to save your life. Yes, Solitude, Ephemerate, Birthing Ritual, Guide Pride, all let this, just all of these cards make this work in modern, not in standard. Did I say Birthing Ritual? Yeah, Birthing Ritual, of course, too. We've copied a Ritual Trigger 1. Oh, no, sorry. I think I misclicked when I was trying to copy the Ritual Trigger, that's right. And then I clicked Kirol to try to copy it, but I just sacked it to the Ritual instead. We won anyways, but another good trigger to copy. We won 2 the challenge. We got kind of nut drawn in rounds 2 and 3, I think. Main deck Doorkeeper Thrall and Consign was kind of tough out of Domain Zoo. And we got Troned really hard. Might weirdly be better to block tokens. So see, they have 9 permanents here. This is kind of weird. I think I want to block the tokens. I need to stop them from. Let's see. So I guess if I block like this instead. Let's say they have 4, 5, 6, 7. And it's. I mean, I just kind of lose if they can copy these. So I think I'm just gonna block these. And I know this leaves them obviously with the Voice of Victory, but I think if I untap and I get to go Needle the Bombardment, play 4 white 1 drops, I think we'll be ahead, especially if Kirol lives somehow. Thraben Charm? Any chance you revisit Aerith combo? Wait, 2 mana Aerith. I played Aerith. I played a 3 mana Aerith combo with Cauldron Ballista. What does 2 mana Aerith combo with? Where did they would let me block and then kill the Gearhulk, by the way? Like Gearhulk should have lifelink instead of first strike. Honestly, that might be too strong. Lifelink is a lot better than is really, really good. Okay, whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on Leonardo. So what does the other 2 mana Aerith do? Does it like whenever you put a counter on something gain life? Plains is actually a really fun draw. Yeah, letting me keep Kirol is shocking. Oh, Leonardo is it's oh sorry, it's like a 2 mana Aerith. Okay, I mean, yeah, I see. It's just a 2 mana Aerith. Yeah, I think that we'd had some success with that deck. I mean, that seems nice. My opponent says oops. No, I said oops. That's me. Sorry about that. I'm all over the place today. Goblin Bombardment. Now let's see if we're gonna get. Let's see if they have a discharge. Although, how could they have a discharge? Now I need to decide. Do I want? I mean, sorry, it's not a decision. Obviously, I'm gonna copy the portable hold trigger. Sorry, an Ocelot Pride trigger, not a portable hold trigger. Do you think they'll ever slow down the releases? There's things in life you can control. There's things in life you can't control, and um, I just try to enjoy the game instead of like agenda post about stuff I want to happen. I think I've really enjoyed just enjoying things instead of sitting here hoping for my dreams to come true, and just focusing on things I can control instead of and logging for things I can't. Why not copy portable hole? It's just way better to copy Ocelot Pride trigger end of turn. Much like look at this. Would you consider Gearhulk as one of the most underrated cards in Modern? I mean, I've had a ton of success with it, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody else play it. So maybe would certainly feel like to me it meets the underrated threshold. We're getting Wrath Disguised. Pretty good Wrath Disguise. We do have a 5/5 Kirol. We've got some good top decks. Wow, and they get to trigger the Pride because. Is Kirol similar to the card Battle Cry in terms of its weak to? Sort of, but your whole deck gets to be lower mana curve and better against that stuff, though. All right. We're looking to draw Gearhulk Solitude. Although, one issue with Gearhulk is we only have one Guide, one Pride left in the deck. We do have a couple other tutor targets, though. Wait, they have Kitty's Blessing, too? Oh my gosh, this turn was insane for them. Yeah, I love that Boros Synergy gets to do this. I guess, we could do it, too. Although we're actually not playing Wrath. Let's go to game. Let's just go to game 3 here. We did bring in the Boromirs to try to be a bit better against Wrath on the play for game 3. Yeah, I agree. It's hard to play Wrath in this version. I think we are supposed to keep this. Hard matchup to Mulligan in. We have Solitude. A top deck Gearhulk, I was back into it. No. Not with City's Blessing Bombardment. We need lands and cheap cards. It's neither of those. So they've got a monkey. I'm going to. I know it's weird to crack a fetch land when I've got Nantuko, but I think this Nantuko, I'm planning on blocking with it anyways, and I want to get. I want to get basics in case they left a Blood Moon, especially they also might have brought Blood Moon back in on the play. Okay, now I need to think about solituding the Ragavan since they don't have discharge. I think I will. It's seems close, but if they don't have discharge, getting Nantuko to get on ahead of board seems good. It's hard. It's really hard to imagine that they have discharge in their hand here if they're gonna attack with the Ragavan in the spot without discharging. Oh, I guess I did forget that this was going to trigger the Pride, although I don't know that my play would have changed. So I'm doing this main phase because I don't want my opponent to kill my Nantuko in response to the fetch, and I can't double block the Pride with the insect tokens. Would you consider Ginkgo Future Shaper as a viable 4-drop? I guess I'll read the card. I don't know it. No, I think this card is like stone unplayable. So they have a second Pride, 3 cards in their hand, and they have a Bombardment. So will they attack with the Ocelot? They go ahead and kill my Ocelot with their cat token. And then they do attack. So if I double block, it's not really like, yeah, I mean, I don't really mind so much. If they sack and ping one, is that bad? I guess it's not amazing. If I do like this, they get to kill my Nantuko. So if I do like this, they go sack ping one, make a cat, kill this. What's the difference? If I do like this, then they kill my Nantuko. They don't sack the other Pride. This Pride dies. I have 2 1/1s left. Yeah, I guess this is slightly better. Yeah, I think Ginkgo is just like 4 mana 2/5 that doesn't impact the battlefield. Like any 4-drop that doesn't impact the battlefield is, yeah, it's just like kind of a non-starter. I don't know if I can think of any that like are actually playable. Oh, I guess I missed that they could ping. Maybe it's kind of the same. They've got 2 cards in their hand. I could get another basic planes here to play around Blood Moon. I think instead I'll just leave the ability to surveil. I have 2 basics as is. In this spot, I think I might like to get Ghost Vacuum, Pithing Needle. Needle a lot nicer against Bombardment because if they Wrath for more, then the Bombardment dies, although maybe they wouldn't Wrath for more here. But the Ghost Vacuum pretty nice with like 2 Solitudes on the board. It's also Flage Insurance here. So they play a Voice of Victory. They have 1 card in their hand after this. We draw a Springheart Nantuko. So let's, I guess... Yeah, Nantuko, the Gearhulk. Not going to be able to play the Ghost Vacuum this turn, although we won't be too upset about this. Copy the Gearhulk. This time I think we get Guide Pride. Then unfortunately we won't be able to copy again, but I think it is important that we Pithing Needle the Bombardment this turn. I think we can get in for 5 first strike trample here. Would have been better to needle the Bombardment first in case they had discharge. We wouldn't have been able to do this because we have to go bestow fetch land trigger, and so we have to use the 5th mana on needle. There's no way to get it otherwise. I do think they could have a Wrath Disguise. If they Wrath, they probably need to X equals 2 to kill my Nantuko, so it's really like not even a problem. I think. Yeah, it's really hard to imagine Wrath as a problem here. It's just like almost them conceding the game. So sometimes like last game it's like 2 mana 10 for 1. Sometimes it's not as well positioned. They do play a Flage. They know I have a Ghost Vacuum. They target my Gearhulk. So their last chart, either their last card is Discharge or they have Needle Blindness. Seems like it might have been Needle Blindness here. Or, like, I mean, there's not really almost any 1 mana cards that can deal with... Yeah, there's almost no 1 mana cards that can deal with Needle for them. It would have to be like Static Prison, which they don't play very often anymore. It is important to block the Warrior tokens so they don't get copied by the Ocelot Pride, though. Yeah, a little bit of a Needle Blindness, it seems. They do get to make a bunch of cats because they gain some life off Flage. Okay, that land is our best draw. Let's go and play Guide of Souls first so we can get the energy here. And then I think so. I'm gonna get a guide and a pride. I'm just gonna hold 2 of them in my hand, and this is gonna be to maybe rebuild post Wrath Disguise. I'm gonna vacuum up the Flage, but although maybe I didn't need to vacuum up Flage. Yeah, maybe actually just hold all of these in my hand here. Yeah, it's just I think we're overcommitting if we play any of them. Maybe it was even overcommitting to play this, but let's just go do this now. They already have blessings, so why didn't they get copies? Yeah, if the token is not in play when the Ocelot Pride trigger happens, you don't get the copies, which is why we blocked with our tokens. The token has to still be in play. If you play both cats, you copy the Gearhulks. Yeah, that's true. Although, I mean, is it overcommitting still if they go like discharge Wrath Disguise? Are we losing? I guess not, because we get more Gearhulk triggers. They do have Wrath Disguise, although this certainly does not seem good for them. They're dead on board. Up 10 minutes on the clock also, but we are 2-0. Much a longer match this time around than round 1. Could almost for sure play 4 Felias. Felia is just so insane in the deck. I think I would play 4. So -1 coat, +1 Felia for me. And I definitely would be trying to, I probably would move away from Guide Pride, and I would try to figure out a way to like I would play Ugin's Labyrinth and the Combat Thresher probably. It does seem like you have the colorless mana things with like Quantum Riddler and Coat and maybe Hide on the Ceiling. Yeah, maybe we'll play this as well. Maybe you play Eldrazi stuff too, or maybe you just play Labyrinth. My opponent kept a card on top. Maybe I'm supposed to Pride and get my trigger, but I also kind of like shuffling their top card here. Second basic island, so maybe just up against control here. Seems like into blue we want to try to double spell, even if the Haywire Mite's not doing much. I guess I mean they're never gonna counterspell the Haywire Mites. They might even hold a counterspell for Birthing Ritual some amount of the time, not very often, I would guess. Could be relevant against Isochron Scepter also. The Elegant Parlor for High Noon activation 2 key. I wouldn't play it, no. Maybe I should have held the land for Nantuko. Yeah, I guess the Haywire Mite activation is not going to be that relevant. Another Kirol reader here. They might not think it does that much, but we can copy the Guide of Souls jump to turn the Haywire Mite into a real threat. All right, so you don't want to copy the first Guide of Souls jump. You want to copy the... oh, wait, no! Oh, my gosh. Sorry, I need to leave back a thing to copy with the Kirol. Sorry about that. Making a lot of little mistakes today. So only -1 damage. For whatever that's worth. They get another Surveil off. Now, they did let the Kirol resolve, so maybe they're just going to go untap Supreme Verdict also. Would you like to revisit Magda Crime with Airship? My Magda Brews and Airship wanted Blast to watch in action. Do you have a list? It's been a little while since I thought about Magda. They do keep a card on top after some consideration. They play a Flooded Strand. They crack the Flooded Strand. Is it Verdicts? That would be the worst available. Looks like it's Wrath Disguise instead. Would love to draw a 1 or 2 mana spell. All right, now I would love to hit a Gearhulk off the Kirol. Oh, sorry, I should have attacked first also because of Solitude. I'm making a lot of like little sequencing mistakes here. Yeah, they pitch Witch Enchanter. All right, so we got 4 cards in their hand after they draw. Could have played better for sure. They could have been at maybe 4. Maybe they would just Solitude anyways though. They do have a Prismatic Ending. They've got 3 other cards in their hand. One of them is a Rogran Triome. Flagstone's a little awkward here. Now I have to main phase the Solitude, but I do think we should be main phasing it. I think maybe slightly better than the average draw. It's like it's not a Gearhulk, but they only have a couple cards in their hands, so just putting any threat is going to be good, and then it'll be good if we have some good top decks with it. So opponent's at 3 cards in hand, 8 life points. They did miss a land drop last turn, right? Yeah, so unfortunately their hand is 2 spells. Prismatic Ending is online for Kirol. What are even the worst spells that they could have? I don't know. Not that many. I snuck in 2 K commands for extra value. K command as a 2 of is ludicrous. Just like the best card in the format. With the printing of Kirol plus ETB, power of some 3 drops, is Collected Company tempting at all? Not saying in this list. I could say maybe it's a little tempting. Yeah, I agree. I don't think I would play it in this list. But yeah, I do think Kirol into like something. Kirol untap the trigger could be cool. Does it fit here? It's like I think Gearhulk is just going to be better, like the Birthing Ritual Gearhulk stuff, and it's going to be kind of hard to if like this is already green and white, you know. I don't know where you would play it. Okay, I don't think that I'm gonna care that much about copying the Phantom trigger. I'm gonna attack with my Kirol. Maybe if I felt like I was gonna double Stone Rain my opponent. Getting them off the Rogran Triumph could be relevant, but I think they probably do have 2 more basics. Yeah, Snare did make some sense. So they've got 3 cards. I've got 0. They're slightly ahead on board. But sacking treasure to make dragons or airship copies seems fine. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of interesting. You're right. Yeah, it's just if you can play K command, you should play 4. It's just like two Kozilek's commands is not a thing. So they warp a Riddler, which is interesting. So our window to win this game is going to be next turn after opponent taps out for Riddler, and we top deck a like Solitude or Gearhulk or Birthing Ritual. We're in this, and if that doesn't happen, we'll probably be going to game 2. Yeah, if you could play any number of K command and like Tron, for instance, you'd probably play like literally 30 copies. Yeah, I think you'd be like 30 copies and like 4 card in the Great Crater or something like that, and then all and mana besides that. Although then Meddling Mage becomes a really good card in that in that format. All right, Solitude or Gearhulk. And they have another snare. We might have another turn or 2 to top deck though. I mean, if they don't have much, although it's kind of hard for them to not have much. Converter is too weak for Legacy, so it'll probably be fine in Modern. I don't think it would break the format. I don't know if it's necessarily a good card to add. I'll scoop to console. Let's go to game 2. Okay, so we want to bring in Boromirs. They are playing Riddler, so I don't know that we want 0 Solitudes. The Phantoms also aren't great. I think 2 is probably going to be where we're at. And then maybe Teeg is just really good against them. Teeg, it subs Prismatic Ending and it subs Wrath and Supreme Verdict. Probably not. I think we'll just play 2 copies. It's not as good in this matchup as it is against Tron, but still I think happy enough to play a couple copies. Oh yeah, maybe we don't want the Haywire Mite. I guess we'll just play and the Prison. I guess we're just gonna play Phantoms. They're not great. They can ramp us though. Why 2 Phantoms? So I mean they're just like curve fillers that ramp you with Flagstones. They don't do a lot. Maybe even I guess 3rd Teak is maybe better than 4th Phantom. What makes K command broken is all nodes target, unlike other commands. Yeah, I agree. If the scry draw was not a target, it would be like a pretty nice nerf to the card. Also the spawns, I don't feel like they need to be able to targeting either. Kirol and Magda Airship strategy, what do I think about it? I answered. I mean, I think I just would have to I don't have a vision for the deck list, but it seems like there's some overlap. There's also some overlap with Magda and Moon Shadow, so possibly an overlap with all the cards, but I can't just shit out the deck. I'd have to chew on it some. I could maybe add it to the list. But deep in the tank on the sideboarding. On the play here. Not a very good hand, but we do have our best card in the matchup. This is a very hard matchup to take a mulligan in. You just have a very hard time every time you go down a card. So I'm going to go ahead and surveil. Now, one big question mark is, if I see a Flagstones on top, am I keeping it? I guess yes. I guess yes. Oh, I can kill their Restless Anchorage. Someone mentioned Celestial Colonnade in the chat earlier. They did print a better Celestial Colonnade. Maybe it's better to resolve the Birthing Ritual first, but doesn't do a lot without creatures in play. I kind of like that this is a must counter, and so if we go must counter, then maybe we get to resolve the Gearhulk. A mostly better Celestial Colonnade. They have a Prismatic Ending. They get a basic land. They play a Quantum Riddler, so let's see if they have a Force of Negation or Solitude. I'm going to attack first. If they have Solitude, we at least get in for the 2 damage. And I guess I'm going to play Flagstones instead of Temple Garden, so that if I hit another Phantom, I could use the Flagstones to ramp. See if they have a free spell here. There are some of those in the modern format, as it turns out. Probably have a Solitude. I don't know that they would ever think this long on Force of Negation, although it's possible they just have like 4 cards to pitch or something. To be like Ixalan. Ixalan was my least favorite. I think it's my least favorite block, and then the original Ixalan 3 blocks was like my least favorite in Magic history, I think. Maybe I guess maybe the Omen Path Spider-Man has now surpassed my dislike there. And they pitched a Witch Enchanter with the Solitude. But for a long time, original Ixalan I just really had a dislike for. So they main phase tune the narrative. Then they play a Misty Rainforest. Which is just like more Spider-Man or Image 3. Image 3 was definitely more of a net negative. I think overall, higher quantity of mistakes, but also there are also more cards I liked in Image 3 than there were in Edge, for whatever that's worth. All right, do I get Boromir or do I get Teeg? I think Teeg makes a little bit more sense. It's the Graveyard of Delta. I guess if they have Subtlety, maybe I'm okay with them blocking and not getting to counter something. Maybe I shouldn't be as okay. Let's see what they do to the Guide of Souls here. They cast a counterspell. So now let's go cast an Ocelot Pride. Bestow Nantuko. So I could, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna sack Insect for Guide of Souls. I am a green short next turn of being able to go Nantuko, Witch Enchanter as a land, and then copy two things. So if I draw a green source, that line opens up to me. I can Solitude their Solitude, so I think I can just attack with impunity here. Yeah, notably one is not a non-creature X spell, so they can play it. Let's go ahead and try to cast this Solitude before they get a bigger wand to draw cards on and maybe even draw a subtlety off of. So I think I'm going to go ahead and play this as a land, even though it's pretty valuable. I get to copy the Nantuko twice, the token twice, which I believe gives me lethal for next turn. When you already have a token in play, you stack the triggers like this. All right, then we'll go ahead and get another Gearhulk. So my opponent is going to need Solitude plus a sweeper here, but even if they have that, I've got a pretty good follow-up now. I guess they could go like Teferi Wrath Disguise too. All right, they don't have it. Hard to say for sure about Gaddock Teeg, but definitely had a good peace of mind factor there. They're playing one. Maybe I want another Solitude since they have one Solitude Subtlety Riddler. Yeah, I think 3 is probably in order. Also, you know, a flash threat is kind of nice, although not the biggest deal. All right, so go to game 3. So when we're saying Magda, I don't think I was thinking of the crime committing Magda. I wasn't necessarily thinking about this one so much. I think I like that one very much. It's not awful. All right, so they play a Misty Rainforest. They pass the turn. Let's guide some souls. Yeah, I agree. You need a Springleaf Drum. But yeah, but what's nice about this Magda is you just kind of curve it into Airship is the theory. I don't know about the practice so much. They graveyard an Ashiok. Hard to imagine they have many more of those in their deck. I think my opponent has both Prismatic Ending and Counterspell in their hand. So we play this main phase 1, so if they counterspell this, we can attack without fear of Felia. Not that we've seen Felia yet, but they do have Quantum Riddler in their deck. It's on the table. But it keeps the card on top. Fire Dock Core, Original Mag Caller, and Flood Caller is something. I certainly recognize some of these cards. What is Fire Dock Core? So we're getting a bit flooded here. I think I need to do this. The Changing Manolith is sick. So this is the card that goes infinite with Clock of Omens, right? Too. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Magda combo decks I'm pretty off of. Long couple matches in a row. Should we be worried about instant speed Wrath potentially? Not that this plays around that particularly well. Although making him do it here, I mean, would they do it always? I don't know. I think this is kind of okay. So now I get to resolve Birthing Ritual. I'll crack my fetch so that I could turn this into a 1-drop, or turn the token into a 1-drop. I think I might as well Surveil. Holding Surveils, and this could be a game to hold a Surveil land, though. Because this is just for the Birthing Ritual trigger. Although I am happy to not have that on top of my deck at the moment. So we could turn Nantuko into a Boromir. We could turn Nantuko into a Gearhulk. Now Boromir doesn't protect the ritual, right? Yeah, just creatures. I think I'm gonna turn it into Boromir, although maybe Kirol is better. Yeah, I'm gonna actually get Kirol. So we got 5 cards in their hand here. We definitely need a good top deck this next turn, and or then to not have much, and then we get to Birthing Ritual. They don't have Solitude up. I draw Springheart Nantuko. I should bestow main phase here, I believe. So I could be a little less scared of subtlety. They have Consign? They might have Consign. They have another Wrath Disguise. Well, this is definitely a little annoying, or more than a little annoying. They could have done this at a slightly better time, though, I think. You know, for now, Ephemerate's kind of unlocked, and we'll see. We haven't seen Ephemerate out of their deck so far either. They have 4 cards in their hand, though. You know, this game is going to be pretty long and grindy. And I have some mana intensive cards to top deck. I think I'm copying this trigger here, although possibly it's better to copy Surveil. Possibly it's better to attack for 4. Their life total is just so high. I feel like I just have to outgrind them, though. Now, do I even want to get this Guide of Souls? I guess not. Alright, so they hold up mana. Outgrind Ritter, good luck. I mean, anything's possible with Brightglass Gearhulk Ephemerate. I think we're gonna chill here. Maybe I'm opening myself up to Solitude too much. Alright, I think I'm gonna save this for Gearhulk also. Do you ever want to kill the Anchorage? Maybe that was a little bit better. I just kind of felt like this was gonna be a game where I wanted a more mana intensive plan. Where like I kind of waiting for them to tap out for Riddler potentially, and then I multiple spell. Although I guess I'm jamming now. That second Wrath Disguise at instant speed was tough. Tough. Maybe these 2 spells fight through my opponent's counter magic, and then they tap up for Riddler and I draw Gearhulk. After some deliberation, they let the Pride resolve. Don't think I'm ever going to protect the cat from with an Ephemerate here. Yeah, we played the updated Dimir Flash in a challenge. We started off 3-0, then we lost to Boros and Prowess, which is kind of normal for Dimir to lose to those matchups sometimes. It's another third Wrath? Wow. They definitely have another counter spell. Our only chance here is to play patiently. Not that we have a lot of a chance here. How's Nantuko felt? Nantuko's good. We copied Gearhulk, we copied Ocelot Pride. There's an infinite combo in here now, which is trying to see that dynamic. It's good with Kirol. I feel like Nantuko's a really crazy card, honestly. It's like as a 2-mana creature, it's a must answer, and it's also like an incredibly grindy late game card. All right, they'll definitely counter this Guide of Souls. Now my Gearhulk is free to resolve. All right. 2-1. Long 2 matches in a row here. We can get a couple faster ones for rounds 4 and 5. Okay, well, I'm going to keep this. Nice that the Phantoms are going to, or at least the first Phantom will be good, even if it's not relevant against our opponent's stuff. Again, hoping to play against not like Controller Boros. Would you ever consider jamming the guy the turn before? Seems likely to counterspell. I didn't think they were that likely to cast it, but also like if you're trying to trade Guide for counterspell, you don't want to do it while your opponent's got 4 cards in their hand and all the mana in the world. You want to like in theory cast Guide of Souls, let it get countered, and then play something else. But they're not going to counter it anyways. But jamming it's just kind of a funny thing to describe as like a 1-mana 1/2 on turn 10 against all that. You know what I mean? It's like not really much of a threat. Yeah, like us waiting made the Gearhulk draw better. I think. Okay, happy to see it under City Sewers. Just because, not necessarily with my hand, but in general. Targeting myself is kind of awkward if they have 1. Isn't that White Orchid Phantom a little too broken? First time seeing the card. It's kind of like fringe modern playable, or it's like a sideboard card in modern. In modern, definitely a very fair card. And not even like really, with 4 Phantoms main, you feel kind of like fine against Tron at the moment. Why do I feel like they're going to play 1? Okay, they float 2 mana. I mean, they just definitely have a 1. I'll target them. Or maybe this could be a great bluff. We got 1-2 in the challenge. We got kind of nut drawn by Tron and Domain Zoo. But I'm still liking the Meteor Blade deck. Ah, it's Mill. And they were Fractured Sanity. Well, I don't mind playing against Mill here. They do usually play a lot of basics. Do I have anything in the sideboard for Mill? Not really. Maybe it's an unfavorable matchup. They got a crab. Well, another awkward game against Mill, I guess. I do have another basic in the deck. I think I'm not going to target myself, though. I think just turning on Archive Trap is a little silly. Just 2 mana 2/2 first strike flying. Yeah, I with our exact hand, Mill is kind of a nightmare, but it's okay. Hey, Kiwi Games. So say no to a surgical extraction. They have 4 cards in their hand. Solitude is our best draw. Still have 3 in the deck. I need them to unban Uro so I can play Ban Blink. One thing that is endlessly fascinating to me about like agenda posting and like archetype like specialists, like I am a Bant Blink gamer, I will never change, like these kind of people. It's like, what's wrong with like blue white, all of the blue white Blink decks that are available? You don't want to play one of those? It's like the Golgari players when like we're having like some of our crazy runs with like Mono Black or Rakdos. I get comments all the time like, how I wish I could play Golgari. I love everything about this deck, but there's no greed in it. It's like, I don't know. It's just I've just personally never been that attached to like a color combination. It's way more fun to play green. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Maybe I just passed it, I guess. But it's definitely dealing the psychic damage with their speed of play too. When did I start playing? What age? I was 18 during the Return to Ravnica block. I think Hogak would be fine. Why? I'm sorry the stream is so boring. That we've entered the I think Hogak is fine territory of the stream, but I'll try to do better. Yeah, I mean they've got a lot of ground blockers, so copying the flying flyers can be a bit better. Yeah, they did up the quantity of ban announcements, but I've been kind of long done getting hyped about them. It's just like if something happens, it happens. All right, but I've got 11 cards in my hand. You have 4 in yours. They surgical my solitudes. Getting hyped about ban seems foolish. Yeah, I agree. I haven't been like particularly interested in these announcement dates for a while now. Yeah, it's like the looting opal on ban day was just like that. Like the reverberations of that were so intense that it just feels like maybe one day we'll have a day like that again. Okay, now we have 9 cards in our deck. Manga with the 38 months. Like, welcome back. Where did all the Jeskai Blink decks go? You know, I kind of think they were never that good, is maybe the short answer. They're definitely fine. Definitely fine. I mean, maybe the real answer is that Tron kind of like chomped them up and spit them out. If I put a cast Tasha's, I'm gonna go like how is this the point that the Visions gets cast? How is this not the first card that you play? All right, they have a second Jace. Okay, to game 2 we go. Aren't Jeskai Blinks just blue-white Blinks now? Aren't they Felly Riddler? That's kind of good enough. I've been playing some like quantum, like so. What you're describing is quantum energy, which is not very popular, although I do think it's pretty solid. I think Boromir's a little bit better than Teeg. I think Portable Hole over Static Prison, Haywire Mite to deal with. I guess I have Witch Enchanters for Bridge. Do I play Needle for Jace? They're playing 2 Jaces. I'll play Needle for Jace. I like to be up a couple cards if I can. Let's just do 62. Yeah, people still play Jeskai, but I would push back and say we play against it all the time. I think at the moment it feels like we play against Jeskai Blink like 0 to 2 times a week. And almost never in challenges. Can't play Teeg, stops trapping Jace. Oh yeah, I guess I forgot it stops Jace. We could maybe do a plus 10 minutes on the clock prediction. We haven't done one of those in a little bit. I almost always keep cards on top with against Mill, but I think in this spot I do want to draw a land kind of bad. A new prediction. Will we get to less than min on clock? 2 minutes. Will I play any RCQs? I'd like to play 1 or 2. My weekends are pretty full, but I'm going to try to. Fruitcake with a 41 month. Thank you. Welcome back. If I draw an untapped land, I'll probably just get aggro with Kirol. Copy the guide trigger. If you saw the new Lat King. No, I haven't looked at the Turtles cards yet, but I will a little bit closer to release. The Turtle cards come out 2 weeks from tomorrow. I guess it would be tomorrow. I'm going to keep this on top because we might get archive trapped. Or do I want to copy the Ocelot Pride trigger? So I'm going to have 7, 8, 9. So I won't have Kitty's Blessing if I do that. I did get archive trapped. I think I'm going to copy the Guide of Souls jump. Oh no, let's copy the Ocelot Pride because we have to like leave the cat token back if we want to copy the guide jump. So it's like it's only 1 extra damage, but then it's -1 cat, so that doesn't seem like that makes a lot of sense, right? So but then sorry, I would have had to have left the cat back to copy this anyways. So for some reason I was thinking I could tap this cat to copy the ability, but it will have already resolved by then. All right, so not enough energy to copy the Guide of Souls. I have 2 Ocelot Pride, so I will be able to Kirol after one of them resolves. Although maybe I'll want to copy a Birthing Ritual trigger instead to try to dig for Boromir. I think that's fine. All right, I think I want to copy just a cat trigger. Yeah, Affinity is also a deck that it surprised me how much it's fallen off. I agree completely. It needs a decent deck. It's not very fun to play. I feel like I don't know how much the fun factor even matters, but I would say most people do think it's fun. 14, 15, 16, 24, 25, 26, plus another 4. Yes, we do have lethal next turn, despite them Crypt Incursioning me. Yeah, I guess it was more fun when you got to play all the draw 2s. All right, well, I guess I'm gonna Portable Hole Meathook Massacre. Dude, Crypt Incursion, losing to Crypt Incursion into Meathook Massacre, it's kind of hard to be too upset about that. All right, 3 Birthing Ritual triggers now. So let's go ahead and turn Kirol into a Brightglass Gearhulk. I know I'm opening up myself to Archive Trap. I guess I'll get Pride. Out of Guide of Souls. Maybe I grab Boromir now. And then nothing. Think of any new elemental brews? No, I just know that I do want to play more with Vibrance and Wistfulness. Or maybe just Wistfulness and wait, I'm thinking of the green black and the white black. What is the white black? Sorry, green blue and white black. Wistfulness is green blue, and then white black is. But those two, I like both of those tested pretty good, and like the builds we had with them, and we didn't really play Emptiness. Thank you. We didn't really play like a lot of Magic with them, but they were pretty solid when we played them, and so Like maybe Wistfulness is just a living end card, and I think that'd be kind of a shame because it's so cool. I know with Emptiness, a lot of people just want me to unearth Oculus, which is, it seems really boring to me every time I think about it. Maybe it is like the only way. So I would normally name Jace, but they've got 2 tapped Field of Ruin, so we'll needle Field of Ruin now. Catharsis could add some play to Glimpse. Well, the problem is if you glimpse into it, you don't get the trigger. So I only have 30 cards left in the deck. I don't think, maybe I'll get another Gearhulk, although I don't have much to get off of it. I guess we'll just stick to this and keep Boromir in play to protect the cats. How about Emptiness to bring back Doran, the Siege Tower, and have 2 5/5s? I mean, for 6 mana, you can do that. What about Wistfulness being good in the Cauldron Gristlebrand piles? I went 4-1 last night on Sultai. Yeah, maybe it's just good as like, you know, Disenchant for Graveyard Hate and Looter. I mean, the card just has felt really good. Another thing you can do with it is you can play Bloodbraid Marauder with it as like a graveyard enabler, like Shifting Woodland Bloodbraid Marauder, possibly. It's playing pretty slow. We're still 2 minutes away from the plus 10-minute prediction dream here. They have 44 life. We're attacking them for 5. My opponent casts Crypto Incursion and then Meat Hook Massacre to kill like 20 creatures. So we got some life totals to fight through. There's no 1-drops left in the deck, so it doesn't really matter how we stack the triggers. Yeah, I actually just think, oh, maybe I want to get Kirol. Yeah, let's go ahead and put a Kirol into play. And then we'll be able to copy a Pride trigger to just get some board. Although we won't be able to do it until after one of the Pride triggers has resolved. So possible that we could have stacked better to play to this. Kind of a hard thing to see. Definitely fun to like put Kirol into play and then copy some of the extra end-step triggers, either Ritual or Ocelot Pride. Wistfulness in VV Cauldron, so you can get VV into the yard and then use Cauldron onto Wisp before it dies for 7 mana. I think that's interesting. It's definitely interesting. The double green for the hard cast, like you need access to it, especially, but maybe that's just kind of mostly upside. All right, they use Colosseum to draw 3, discard 3. Discard Flooded Strand, Delta, Watery Grave, so basically an Ancestor Recall. Now they have 3 cards in their hand. Their Field of Ruins are Pithing Needled for whatever that's worth. Possible that I unlocked like a Damnation by sacking the Boromir. Yeah, we've done very little brewing with Cephalid Coliseum. Actually, I'm gonna look at the Mox Field to see if I've ever even cast or played a Cephalid Coliseum. It looks like I have never even put it in a deck. At least on stream. To the believers, y'all need to survive another 40-second differential to get your points. Although here they've started to cast a spell. Atasha's Hideous Laughter, which is putting me down to 15 cards in my deck. Now y'all need to survive a 30-second differential. Then they play a crab, 1 card in their hand. So we're definitely going to make a token. I mean, it's all coming down to this turn, right? We're going to get in with everything. We're going to stack it to where one of the Pride triggers happens first. We might crash Magic Online, which is only a minor detail here. All right, so Ocelot Pride trigger. Copy an Ocelot Pride trigger before the birthing ritual happens because I might want to sack Kirol. I'm looking for my other copy of Boromir, although I haven't actually looked to see if it's still in the deck. Yeah, just definitely don't want to remove a card from my deck if I don't have to. Just I'll put a Boromir into play if I can. Don't see one. Can't get the Solitude. I don't have a 4-drop in play. Could have maybe tried to chain there. Might also crash Magic Online. I think we're not quite to that point though. All right. Is that lethal next turn? Looks close. I think I kind of figured it definitely. Okay, it's definitely way over lethal. Kind of hard to eyeball. I have 14 cards in my deck. They cast a Fractured Sanity. And we barely did not get over 10 minutes. Exactly 0 cards in the deck. Would one copy of Duskrow's Reliquary be interesting? I think it's a little slow when our deck's already pretty grinding. Would be pretty fun. Needed to stagger Pride and Ritual trigger so you could keep hitting Kirol. Copy Pride trigger, find a new Kirol, copy again. Paper play only. I mean, it's not a paper play only, but we had no Kirols left in the deck, I thought. Or did we have one left? Yeah, we had none left in that spot. But yeah, in general, you can do that to keep looping them. Okay, I think I'm going to go stop here for today. Go eat some lunch. Back tomorrow. I have a lot of decks I'm working on for tomorrow's stream. I'm not sure what we're going to start with, but we've got a lot in the queue to work on. Caleb is playing a limited RCQ today. That's probably going to be pretty fun to watch. I'll go ahead and raid over there. I'm going to pay out the doubters. Oh, it looks like that already got paid out.